It's your girl T here, back with the Tea Time Tuesday video. I know y'all are having a beautiful, blessed day because we're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, how did I get everything I wanted? How did we get everything we wanted? We woke up and our world shifted. We're so thankful that our dream reality has become a thing. It's become our reality. I wanted to discuss a few odds and ends here of people asking me questions, which is fantastic. I love the questions, keep them coming. And I wanted to do them one by one in no particular order. I just wanted to address these because they have come up. The first question that I had from a subscriber is, what's my thoughts on sleep paralysis? At first, I didn't even know what sleep paralysis is. I'm not one of those YouTube coaches that's going to talk out of my butt when I don't know what something is. So I did a bit of research, and this is a real gray area from what I found on Google, YouTube, speaking to people, in the sense that they don't have a good grasp on what the cause of sleep paralysis is or how to eliminate it. They give you suggestions, etc. But I'm going to just break down what I found. They said sleep paralysis, I'm looking down at my notes. Sleep paralysis is when you're between REM sleep, which is deep sleep, and awakeness. And you basically are paralyzed and feel like you can't move and you can't decipher your dreams from the current moment. And obviously that would be a scary feeling to any of us. I have had this before where I've woke up from a dream and I am paralyzed because I think that my dream is my reality. What would my thoughts on this be? Well, from what I read online, it says you could start exercising. You can exercise throughout the day to make your sleep patterns more regular. You can also make sure that you're getting your sleep pattern in check. Like every night you're trying to go to bed around the same time and get your 7 to 8 hours, which I don't even believe in 7 to 8 hours. I've really thrived on 6 hours pretty much every single night of my life, and I feel great from 6 hours. I find when I do 8 hours, it makes me feel a little bit drunk on sleep. So I'm easy on the 6 to the 8 to the whatever works for you. And what I would say too is be very cautious for the 20 minutes before you go to bed, because whatever you subject your mind to 20 minutes before you go to sleep, and when you wake up 20 minutes in the morning, the first 20 minutes in the morning is when your subconscious is the most awake and susceptible to your affirmations, whatever you're viewing on TV, what have you. We all know this. And throughout the day when we're going in and out of SATs, like when we're in a comatose state or like a autopilot state, this is when our subconscious is most open to suggestion, because we're zoning out of our perceived reality and our brain goes on autopilot. So the 20 minutes before you go to bed, I would definitely do some calming stuff. Like I would light candles, put yourself in the mood. I would affirm, if sleep paralysis is a thing for you, that I always get a beautiful, blessed sleep. Thank you so much that I get a beautiful, rested sleep with no interruption. I would listen to frequencies that were calming, or subliminal, whatever calms you down. And I would just affirm and lull myself to sleep that I get a beautiful sleep and my sleep is uninterrupted and I have the most joyous sleep and I wake up refreshed every morning. That's what I would do to combat sleep paralysis. If you're looking for a more in-depth medical advice, I would seek it from obviously a professional, like a doctor or someone in that field. But on the manifestation front, I would make sure that I had a good bedtime routine and made sure that I was affirming towards my end result, which is having a peaceful, beautiful rest before I go to sleep. There's a whole bunch of stuff going deeper into the spiritual realm about what sleep paralysis means, etc. And that's somebody's opinion. There's no proof. There's no reasoning behind why they think this way. But if making up a story about what your sleep paralysis means helps you get through the sleep paralysis or gives you a different positive spin on it, so be it. But this is my advice to you, would be to make sure that you're real cautious of what you watch or listen to before you go to sleep, and make sure that you try and regulate your nervous system throughout the day if something's really bothering you, because they said it's heavily linked to PSD, stress and anxiety, which is obviously a lot to do with our thoughts. So make sure you keep a clean mental diet throughout the day and deal with any stressors throughout the day by the way that you regulate your nervous system, and it should be an easier lull for you to get to sleep at night. The other thing that I was asked about is my son. a subscriber had said she loves when she hears what my son has manifested and how he goes about it, and so to do a longer video on that. I've written down a few of the things that he's manifested. For those of you that are new, I have a 6-year-old son and a 20-year-old son. The 6-year-old son is who she's speaking of, because I speak a lot about him in my videos. Not that the 20-year-old son isn't good at manifestation either. They both are, but the 6-year-old is more prominent about it, because obviously when you're 6, you're a lot more unfazed and unmolded by your outside environment, because you're new to the world and everything's fresh and new. And I started my 6-year-old son on a different path than I did my 20-year-old son, because I only started consciously manifesting about 5-6 years ago. So obviously it coincided with his birth. Now, my 6-year-old son is very, very strong in how he consciously manifests, because I listened to subliminals when I was pregnant. I always feed him that he's a king, that he is the best, that no matter what goes on, he can get the things that he wants if he focuses on what he wants as opposed to what he doesn't want. I also teach him things like, be considerate of people around you. You have to share your space. Be honorable and conscious and aware of everyone around you. He's learning how to share. He is 6. Because his brother's so much older than him, it will take time, because he's like being raised as an only child per se because of the gap. But some of the things that he has manifested is, he manifested a YouTube channel, because he sees me always doing my shorts and my films, and he always wanted a YouTube channel. So he was so obsessed with having a YouTube channel. He kept asking over and over and over and over. Finally, my brother, who's very tech savvy, helped him set up his YouTube channel. You can't view any of his videos, because we decided collectively that we're not going to post them till he's about 10, 11, until we have a good grasp on who's able to watch them. But he posts them. He doesn't know they're private. He acts like a YouTuber. He posts his videos like he's a YouTuber, and it's really helped him with his speech and how confident he is in himself, and it brings him joy, because in his mind, he's the best YouTuber that ever hit the planet, and he does his videos every day, and he's loving life being a successful YouTuber, because what we create up here happens out here. He also manifested gymnastics lessons. He was in swimming lessons, and he kept bothering me about gymnastics lessons, and I said yeah, and he just wouldn't let it go. So I did sign him up for gymnastics, so he does those once a week. He manifests snacks. He always wants candy. He's a child, so he'll manifest those. I've implemented a program where when he does well at school, we have a prize bag, and he goes through the prize bag and he picks the things that he wants, and we've put in kind of like a green star system for that. So he manifests his snacks here and there. He manifested a day off work for me. He loves me. He wants to be around me all the time. Obviously, he's my son. So when I go to work, he gets upset and he wants me around all the time. This one day I wasn't feeling it to go to work, and I was like, either I go or I don't. And he was like, you're not going to work today. Call your work and tell them you're not coming. Tell them that we have plans and we're doing something today. Literally an hour after he said that, my work texted me and called me off for the day. They were like, we're really dead. We don't need you. You could stay home if you like. And I was like, sure. And he looked at me and he was like, Mommy, I told you, you don't have to work today. He's just very focused and very straightforward in the way that he looks at the world, and he knows what he wants, and there's no deterring him. And I know y'all can say, oh, he's a kid, it's easy, but there's a lot of kids who are wishy-washy, or a lot of kids who don't know what they want. With my son, it's very black and white. Either he likes something or he doesn't, and when he wants something, he's very linear focused. He wants it, he's gonna have it, it's gonna be there for him. He's also manifested action figures. When he was 3 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old, one day I'll have my best friend on the platform, but we were laughing about it because one day I needed diapers for him. He was 2, and he went on Amazon and picked out his own diapers and bought the right size. I didn't even tell him he needed diapers. He just went and picked them out for himself, and I just let it ride because I needed them anyways. He does this with action figures. He's not allowed to touch my phone, but this one day when we were looking into something else, he accidentally clicked his action figure and put it into my cart, and it got ordered. I canceled the order, and I would look at that like inspired action, because in his mind he felt like, oh, oops, my finger touched it for the action figure. That's not a good example, but he does manifest action figures. He's always plotting and scheming how he can get his next Spider-Man action figure, and he has manifested a bunch of those. People have given him action figures. He's manifested them from myself and my brother. He's manifested them from other people. So he manifests his little action figures. Those are just a few of the examples. And how does he do it? He's very focused, linear focused. If he wants something, he doesn't deter from it. He'll ask for it. I'll shut him down. And then the next day I'll think he's forgotten about it, and he'll wake up going, so when's my action figure coming? So how about that action figure? Can we look into that action figure? I just want to know when the action figure is being delivered. He never deters from what he wants. I told him at school that if he gets, because they have a system where he gets green if he was well behaved that day, yellow if it was mediocre, and red if there was something that needs to be brought to my attention. And every day when he goes to school, he's like, so I'm so excited I got a green today. Before he even starts school, he puts it out there that green's happening. The majority of his colors that come back are green. He does get yellows. He got a red one time, but he goes forward knowing what he wants, and in his mind it's already done, and there's no wavering. There's no what if this happens? What if that happens? He doesn't even have time for that. He just goes forward with what he wants, and you cannot distract him from what he wants. He will drill it into your mind. He will talk about it like it's already here until it actually actions and takes place. And some of the comments before, most of them were positive, but there were a couple comments that came in before on the last video I did about my son. Well, like, isn't that raising him to be a brat because he's always trying to get what he wants? Is it? Or is it just setting him up for success to be, I lost my words. Or is it setting him up for success to be peripherally focused on what he wants, and he gets what he wants? It's not a brat concept. Well, maybe it is a brat concept. If he is going to be a brat and that entails him getting what he wants, so be it. I'm super proud of him that he has the brain power that he can focus on what he wants in a positive way and get it. Because if a lot of us were taught this as children, we wouldn't be in the predicaments we were today, because most of us were taught to be humble, focus low. If we don't get what we want, sometimes it just works out that way. We were taught all these limited beliefs, and we believed them, and we bought into them. And now later on in life, we're realizing that those are man-made limitations that don't actually apply to us, and we can have what we want, and we can be happy, and we are worthy and deserving of what we want, and we should get what we want. So we're undoing some of those nonsense belief systems that were given to us. So if we start the child out on a road to success and they believe in it, what way is there to go from here but up? Anyways, you all know I hate a long video, so I'm trying to make this as short as possible. The end of the day, the secret sauce that makes my son successful is focusing on what he wants and not letting anything deter him. And I know all of y'all are going to follow that same recipe, because that is the key to manifestation success, is being delusional, as everyone calls it, and living in the wish fulfilled, living in the end result, knowing that it's yours, and not letting anything in the 3D distract you from that, because that's all the 3D is. It's a distraction. We have to live in it. We have to interact in it every day, but you can't let something your SB said to you throw you off. You can't let something that somebody at work said to you throw you off. It's sometimes hard when we get wrapped up in these entanglements in the 3D, letting what somebody said throw us off our course. But the key is, when you get thrown off, how do you pick yourself up and come back on track and go back into the wish fulfilled? Go back into the wish fulfilled. And how do we know we're successful at it? When it is an actuality in our reality. We'll know because we'll feel naturalness towards it, and it will actually implement in our day-to-day, because we'll see it come up for us and it will be natural to us. It's like I said in one of my short videos, I couldn't quantify 3-4 years ago that I would always have money and my bills would always get paid on time and things would always just roll for me financially. And now I'm in a completely different financial position than I was 3 or 4 years ago. My credit score is really high. I always have money. My bills are always paid. I pay them ahead of time. If this was 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have been borrowing from this one to pay the next. And now I'm in a real good financial position. It's natural to me now. I don't even think about it. This can be the way for all of our desires if we really focus on what we want as opposed to the things that are coming up that we don't want. Give no credence to those because they will pass. But the end result is here to stay for us because we're tea timers and we get what we want. I hope y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Bye.